Alright, I'm back. Let's not dwell on it. Let's just move on because I can't be asked to explain. Anyway, so I'd like to say this is going to be a review of the new 52 run on Deathstroke issues 1 to 7, but it's probably most indefinitely going to turn into a rant because, anyway, not to give away my opinions so soon. I didn't like this. I really didn't like. I'm a huge Deathstroke fan. If you didn't know, I'm a huge Deathstroke fan. He's one of my favorite villains. Um, I did not like this reimagining. I mean, I was excited for it. I so wanted to like this new run, right? I hadn't read much Carl Higgins before, so I didn't know much of what type of writer he was or anything. Um, so I went into this like, he hasn't had a series in ages since the Marv Wolfman one, and I get that they're gonna reimagine him. I get that they're gonna update him and stuff. That's fine, but as long as they keep him, Deathstroke, the character that I like, then I don't see what could go wrong. He's a fun character. He's a good character. He can be deep, and he can be just like a villain guy, but it doesn't really have to. No. So they brought out Deathstroke, right? I'm talking way too fast. I'm not thinking. It's just right. I'm just going to explain first. I'll go over the story a bit more later, but first I want to talk about what they reinvented, what they changed about Deathstroke. So, first major thing that everyone can notice, even if you're not a Deathstroke fan, he's got armor on. The ninja costume is gone. The ninja, the mask and everything. It's not anything now. It's armor. It's like proper. He looks like Iron Man, but with Deathstroke paint. He looks like a really souped up, actually War Machine. He looks like War Machine, but painted like Deathstroke. Which at first I was put off by because, well, I still am. It's just Deathstroke's whole thing is not. One of Deathstroke's things is that he thinks he's invincible. He knows he's invincible. He has the capability to dodge, to avoid, to block everything. Like his mind works in a way faster than Batman's. Like that's his superpower. When people just say that Deathstroke's just another ordinary human, no, he's not. He's got a superpower. He uses 90% of his brain power as opposed to the 10% that everyone else uses. And one of the advantages that comes with that is that he can see things before they happen. He can sense things. Like, he has extra senses. So why would he need the armor if he prides himself so much on being able to dodge? That's why he uses so little armor that's why the old Deathstroke used like the ninja mask and everything and never really heavy packed, because he knew that he could dodge everything. It's just stupid. But, I understand they want him to look cooler, and fair enough. I would have been able to bypass the armor if the story was good, but I'll get to that in a minute. Then, for the Deathstroke fans of us, would notice when reading the first issue, they took away the pole. Like, there are two weapons that Deathstroke always has: his sword and his pole. The pole was it's just such a cool weapon. It's so unique. I've never seen any character like it who has a stick that he fights with, like martial arts, but also fires. It's just so unexpected. The first Deathstroke comic you read, when he fires that pole, it's just so like, that's actually a really cool like idea. Just like a fighting stick that he uses to fight people, kind of like Robin's stick. But then if he points and twists, it shoots. It's just a cool idea. Why take that away? Why take one of the pinnacle weapons that this character has away? But, I don't know. So that put me off. But then I was like, listen, he's still got his sword. His samurai sword, the one that he always uses. It's kind of the pinnacle Deathstroke weapon. For some reason, they change it from being the samurai sword that's very lightweight, very, like, movable, to being this big, massive, like, Final Fantasy style sword. And I'm just like, what? Why? It it doesn't make any sense. Why would they give him this massive, heavy set sword that's not even that long, just very bulky? And I don't understand why they made all these changes. It doesn't even look cooler. I think that the old Deathstroke looks a lot cooler. Now this might be annoying because I'm ranting about a character that not a lot of people know much about. But this character is very close to me. This is like if a huge, I don't know, Spider-Man fan, and then they rebooted Spider-Man and then give Spider-Man armor, and then said that Spider-Man doesn't use web, he uses something else. I don't know, it's just annoying. And I get that they needed to reboot this character because he wasn't that popular, but come on. Like, the old Deathstroke is good and can be popular. You just need to publicize him more. You just need to show why Deathstroke is so cool. You don't need to change what's cool about him and make it something that is just hokey and stupid. But yeah, enough about what they did with Deathstroke. Let's go into the story. Now, I gotta say, the villain in this, the main villain in this, Legacy, is a really interesting concept. I gotta give Carl Higgins props for that. The whole, if you haven't read the series, Legacy is basically this villain. This family wants to kill Deathstroke, so they invent this thing called Legacy, which is a mask and a costume, and it's pink and green, I think. I look over, but I'm kind of interested in right now. It's pink and green, so it's very distinct colours, and basically they hire these superpowered mercenaries to wear the costume and the mask and go out and try to kill Deathstroke. And then Deathstroke obviously defeats them and kills them, and then they find another mercenary, hire him, put the mask and costume on, go and kill Deathstroke. They continuously do it. It's an interesting concept because it psychs out Deathstroke. It's like, why is this one person keep coming back with all these different powers and different things? I keep killing him, but he keeps coming back. It's just a really cool, like, the entire run plays with the idea of getting credit for your kills. Like, Deathstroke is always like, you need to get credit for what you do. If you don't have credit, then it doesn't matter. But that brings me on to one of my negative points. He is so contradictory. This Deathstroke is so contradictory. He starts out by saying that money is everything. He starts out by, the first issue, his policy is all about money. Money, 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 money. I need money. This is the only reason I do it. Which is fair enough, because the Marv Wolfman Deathstroke, the original Deathstroke, that was kind of his thing. He's like, I've got my family screwed up, everything else, the only thing that's stable in my life is my income, so I will just keep making money by doing what I'm good at. Whereas this Deathstroke starts off like money. I was like, okay, he's a bit obsessed with money, but there you go. Then a couple issues later, he's like, it's all about legacy, it's all about your legacy, which is tying into, the villain, and it's all about, like, my father was a mercenary, which is weird, because he never was. Like, what? And then is like, he's a mercenary, and then he wants Grant, his son, to be a mercenary, and it's just like, what? When was this? Okay, so they've introduced this new idea that Deathstroke comes from a family of mercenaries, instead of just choosing to be it when everything goes tits up, which I didn't like, honestly, because it just makes him another one of those, villains that is obsessed with carrying on the legacy, but it's not that interesting. Whereas Deathstroke, the original Marv Wolfman Deathstroke, who his whole thing was that it's the only thing I'm good at. I've been tossed out of the army. I've got nothing left except for this, and he just ruins his life with it. That's interesting. This legacy, I don't know, but I'm gonna go off that because I've said what I need to say. And then towards the end of the book, he's more about, like, I don't know, he's all about, like, wanting people to know it was him, and it's just weird. He just conflicts on his motivations. His motivations are all over the place. They don't make sense. As I said, Legacy, the character, I enjoyed, but, and then the ending, I'm going to spoil the ending. If you were going to read the series, I'd recommend not reading it, but if you were going to, don't listen from now on because this is going to be spoilers. So at the end you find out that Grant is actually alive, and he's the one that's been doing all this bad stuff to Deathstroke. That's okay, I guess. I mean, Grant has been brought back before. If you don't know, Grant is Ravenger. He's kind of like Deathstroke's son who's come to, I don't know, avenge him because he blames Deathstroke for his death. Whereas, and they changed Grant's death. They say that Deathstroke is actually responsible for Grant's death in this. It's just weird. It's like, But the whole thing was that Grant blames Deathstroke, but Deathstroke had nothing to do with it. Deathstroke tried to save him in the original, but in this one, he kind of tries to save him, but he's also the one pushing him to become a mercenary. Whereas in the original, he was like, you shouldn't be a mercenary. Don't involve yourself in my life, because I've made mistakes that I don't want you to make. And Deathstroke just comes off as a massive dick. It's so annoying. It's really annoying, but yeah, I've done 10 minutes of this now, of just ranting. I'm sorry if you got annoyed and put off, because I haven't been doing videos for a while. But, yes, I will try to make more videos. I will explain why I've been gone sometime soon. But, yeah, please, if you're a Deathstroke fan and you have not yet read the series, don't. It will make you sad. And DC, if for some reason you're listening, just bring the old Deathstroke back. I mean, the story was alright. I mean, I liked Legacy. I liked the ending, which I don't want to give away, even if you have stayed, because I said spoilers, but the ending is pretty good. But just change the character. That's what I had the most problem with. The character of Slade Wilson is just not Slade Wilson. It's just some other guy. They could have renamed the book and made, you know, a character that I wouldn't have liked, but maybe someone else would. But I don't know. I just think Deathstroke had such a potential, and they didn't do what they could have done with it. So yeah, thanks for listening to my very long rant. I'll try to make a positive video next. And yeah, see you guys sometime soon.